Hi there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I am Presh B. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple and shapy pencil skirt. So come on. I'll get my material, fold it to the hip measurement and cut it out. I want to mark the waistline, the hip lines. That will be 2 lines because nobody's hip is sharp, so I need 2 lines to extend the area. I'll mark the under hip area. So I'll have the waistline, hip lines and under hip line, which is for shaping. Okay, so I was supposed to cut out 2 inches for the hemline. So I'll need to mark out my waist measurement, which is 36, and I'll add 1 inch instead of 9. I'll make it 10 because I need it for that. And then my hips measurements, which is 46, is supposed to be 11.5. So that is what I'm going to mark. I'll repeat the same measurement on the other hip line because of course it's the same measurement. And then for the shape line, which is the under hip, I will just remove 1 inch from the hip area just to give it a bit of shape. Yeah, so I'm going to connect these lines using my hip curve ruler. I basically use it for anything curvy. Yeah, so then I'm just going to do that, making sure my lines are not very sharp. It's just going to be curvy like that. To cut the down part, I would invert the ruler, yeah, to cut the I'm going to add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Just going to mark it out because this material does not stretch, so I need to mark out the joining allowance, and that's 1 inch. Yeah, so but for a stretchy material, I will cut at the main line and then hold with 1 inch because of course it's going to stretch out to the hip side. Yeah, so there won't be any point adding allowance when I'm cutting. To cut my dart, I need ½ inch to sew the dart, so I'm going to add ½ inch to 4 inches, so it will be 4.5 inches from the midpoint. Yeah, I will mark it on the waistline, and I will extend the line downwards because I want my dart to be very straight. After drawing the line, I'm going to measure the length of my dart, which will be 4 inches, and I would measure ½ inch from both sides of the dart line that I drew, and then I'll connect the points together to indicate my dart shape. To cut the back, I'll simply place the front on the material and cut it out, leaving 2 inches for zip allowance. Now I also left 1.5 inches at the top because I want it to be higher a bit at the back, so it would cover the bum properly. So I'm just going to mark where the front starts from so that I can get a proper picture from the back. Now I will mark my points at which I want it to be higher than the front at the back, and then I'll just connect these 2 points together. Now it's time to cut my shape at the back. From the hip area, I want it to have shape at the back, so it's not just straight down. So I'm going to measure my 1.5 inch out for zip allowance. From the waistline to the hip line, but when I am approaching the shape line, I'm going to deduct 1 inch, so I will be using ½ inch on the under hip area. Now I will measure my slit, and I'm going to be using 8 inches for this particular slit. From my under hip to my slit area would be same measurements, which is ½ inch. I can use a straight ruler to connect this part, but when I want to connect the other parts, I will need my curvy ruler to do that for me. So I will just cut out that area, this part that I marked out. Now I will need to cut out my joining allowance so that I don't make mistakes. So I'll just mark it out with my curvy ruler. In cutting the dart from my back, I will need to make it 5 inches from midpoint because my dart is going to be 1 inch at the back. Yes, I'm doing this because the bum is big and then I need one dart to be able to give it the dent I need. So I'll just cut 1 inch from each side of the dart line, and I will maintain my 4 inches length like I did in the front. So you can see this dart is going to be bigger than the one in the front. Yes, I need it to give me a dent, a bigger or a deeper dent for the bum. So that's just basically how to cut